Hey gang, so today we're doing your Overwatch again for these takes. It's gonna be like a half episode though. This isn't gonna be a full-on real episode of the series. It's just kind of a little bonus while I work on finding the perfect video for two. I have an idea or two, but for now. And once again, I should say it, don't go out and harass your Overwatch. I like his stuff. I'm literally subscribed to him. You shouldn't ever go and harass somebody over their opinions on a video game. It's just a game, man.
Many Overwatch 1 fans felt disappointed and
However, always feel free to call people like this out. I think it's important.
betrayed by Blizzard when they found out new heroes to Overwatch 2 would be locked behind a battle pass.
Which is
in
fair.
a series of
'Cause
interviews
that's how it
with
had
gaming
been.
publications.
This is something that happens in games a lot. People just kind of ignore like the bad things, like they don't want to say the bad things, which makes sense. But like, let's say for example, with Overwatch 2, let's say for some reason they canceled the PvE, they wouldn't let you know until like literally the last second to negate like a lot of the bad press that they would get from it. Like if they announced that the PvE was looking like it was going to get scrapped when this game was initially coming out, man, would people have been pissed off.
Much to say that I think that it's the best the battle pass gaming has to offer, and I still stand by that statement, but it's easier for
I wonder if he still stands by it.
me to say because I have access to information that the rest of the public doesn't. So I want to
See, okay, so this is the last time I'm going to pause it for a little bit here. But this is what I kept hearing, and it kept making me very upset because people would just say, well, you don't know what I know, essentially. And it's like, well, I don't need to know any more context. Like, it's just bad. Like, without any context, it's bad. So, of course, it's going to stay bad. I want to say I kind of misspoke here, but context is important. But in context for what he is talking about, which is Heroes Behind Battle Pass, we already knew the important details and like the level that it was going to be at and stuff like that. But in this situation, I would say context genuinely wasn't that important.
I was furious with Blizzard. I told them directly that if they make Overwatch 2 pay to win and ruin the competitive integrity of the game, that I would denounce it publicly and quit the game. Yeah, for real, for real.
Okay, and just really quick here, I want to also say that this part I actually do remember. I have respect for that. That's ballsy, to be honest. If you're gonna say you will quit the game because they go pay to win,
Like, you know, the guys don't understand. Okay, it's one thing to get on a video and say Blizzard is the worst company ever and yada yada yada.
true, but I would tell them to their face. Fuck you, Bobby Kotick. I'll call you out right now. Don't sue me though. That's a joke, guys. No suing me. But Bobby Kotick, you literally are the devil. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you actually made a deal with the devil.
The years that people sucked up to Jeff Kaplan even as he was making what I thought was really bad decisions. Okay,
I'm not sucking the dick of Overwatch 1. Overwatch 1 had its own fair share of problems. I just like to hate Overwatch 2 because we all do. And also, these takes are just bad and they're easy to debunk. I also want to... Wait, I'm sorry for pausing it so much. But I want to hear, what the fuck... What did the game look like when they first showed him it? Because they said they took in feedback. Do you think they were unable to be obtained in the free battle pass before they... That would imagine.
Many of the arguments and complaints about this come from assumptions created by Overwatch 1 that don't apply to 2 in any way.
That's crazy, bro. I'm not even gonna I don't even have to say anything. Go check out the last video if you want to have to hear what I say about that.
It's a different game, it's a better game. But the point is, a free player can earn enough coins to get all that content anyway. And it compares to...
Yeah, if they play literally every single week, like 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 4 hours, really. And then, yeah, you technically get it for free. If they were paying, it's pretty much they'd pay you 60 cents an hour. That's cool.
a single AAA game that costs...
And you'd have to do that for 18 weeks or whatever.
Actually, it's $70 now, you boomer. And then it goes on to say, like, a lot of these other games that you buy and then you just shelve and you don't get a lot of value.
I hate this fucking argument with a passion because you know what? I buy, let's just say God of War Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok is a full single player story experience. Anyone who plays a single player game knows that the argument of saying, well, $70, $70 for a game that you play once and put on your shelf is technically a worse deal. No, it's fucking not, because you know what I get from that? In one single player game, I get one of the best stories I've ever seen. I get endless content, There's no DLC, like no like cosmetics that I can't earn. And if you really put time into it, like I just recently finished Nier Replicant, that game cost me $20. You know how long I spent in it? 120 hours. Like, bro, I'm getting bang for my buck compared to in this game where you get for $30 a year will get you every single hero and some skins. That's about it though.
Value out of them, whereas
Which obviously none of those add any content really. Like you're not going to play longer because you get a cool skin. Well, maybe you will, but not significantly longer. That depends completely on their balance, which we've seen how that goes. Also, sorry to interrupt again, but I just have to say it. The other thing with this argument is, like, if you play these single player games, anyone who does knows that yes, the hours you might not be able to get as high up on hours because there's just not as much replayability, but usually the experience is significantly better because the story it's telling or the music. And then there is certain games, like I play like 2 hours of Overwatch every week now probably. I have 50 hours on Mortal Kombat 1. I know that's technically a multiplayer game, but I've only played the single player so far. And I have 50 hours on that, and it was $70, and I've done that in like a week, bro. Like, it is such a shit argument to be like, well, $70 games exist, so why are you complaining? Because my $30 in Overwatch is locking gameplay features behind a paywall, compared to that $70 where it's like, okay, I buy $70 game, I get literally everything.
years. So we can still be thinking like, wow, they should still be adding things for free to Overwatch 1. Well, they can't afford to.
I wouldn't even care. Like, if Overwatch 1 had stayed the exact same, no adding anything except for maybe buffs and nerfs, like really overpowered shit, I would have preferred that to a lot of Overwatch 2. Sometimes Overwatch 2 is better, but a lot of Overwatch 2 I would have preferred
Because
that.
they need to, do they want to pay for anything? What's a reasonable amount?
Cosmetics. I'll pay for cosmetics. And that is the other thing though, the cosmetics need to be better priced, but I feel like everybody would be completely willing to pay for cosmetics in this game. Like, let's say they have a really, really cool Reinhardt skin and it's like $10. You'd consider it, or $5. You would consider that.
Amount of money to pay for a game for a year, let's say, of constant content and development. CarQ seems to think that like $30-ish is pretty darn good, and I tend to agree with him. The length.
Well, if you're advertising a free-to-play game, it should be free, in my opinion, but whatever.
Which that to be able to continuously deliver content and experiences for years and years.
So that is the thing now. Now that they've canceled PvE, they better be adding a lot. Like, we better be getting a lot of events, a lot of other shit for this game because we're spending more money than ever. We better be getting more stuff than ever, especially now that you canceled an entire sides like quest thing.
Overwatch 1 being designed that you're intended to swap heroes and engage with the counter pick comp metagame was a bad design decision because
that we're keeping in Overwatch 2, baby. Yeah. I talked about it in the last video, so I won't talk about it too much. But you can't blame him for this take of, it was like a year ago at this point. But like also anyone who believed that, I feel like was genuinely like smoking copium, because there's literally no world where this game is ever not gonna have counter swapping hard counters stuff. That's just how it is.
Players statistically didn't do it, but also I would say strategically can't do it. A very important stat that we got is that,
and that's just statistically true. Not everyone knows how to counter swap. In fact, a lot of people genuinely have no idea how to counter swap. However, there's also an equal amount of people who just know, Orisa, she can stop Reinhardt shatter. I'm gonna just pick Orisa. And then they do that, and that's enough for like most of the bronze lobbies.
John Spector said that 99% of players play less than 12 heroes. So like about...
That's like not a surprise at all. Literally, yeah, what the fuck do you mean?
80% of players play less than 3 heroes. People's actual...
There we go, that sounds more accurate.
That way. So it's a little silly for Overwatch 1 to be designed in a way where you are expecting your teammate to swap to something to help you. That's bad design.
And that's what we're in still now.
Overwatch 2 instead, you should think about, what do you know how to play?
No, you should not. You should absolutely be switching, especially if you're playing tank.
Because the game was just too complex. Needed too much interconnectivity in a wide hero roster with players that only can play a few.
And now the game is too simple and all you need to do is turn off your brain and switch to a counter switch on tank, and you win.
You hear
So we've flip-flopped from one extreme to the other now.
heroes. That's not a matchup. That's decided at the hero select screen.
And that is still very common in Overwatch 2. I'm sure every single player knows this, that still happens all the time, where someone will just lose at the select screen. Like, I play Reinhardt, I've gotten yelled at more times than I can count because the enemies just switched to a reset, and I'm playing quick play and I don't care, and I just want to keep playing Reinhardt, and they're like, you're throwing. And I'm like, sorry, bro. Hammerman fun.
Execution each and every team fight, pretty much. And of course, the map and everything else. But it's not like it's clear who always wins. This is very similar to Kiriko's cleanse, but it's just much harder to use, in my opinion. But let's say you do.
Wait, is he, what? Huh? Kiriko's cleanse is not harder to use than like anything. I swear to God, I throw that shit and it lands every time. It's so easy to use.
Land the freedom of strategy to make the game not feel so rock, paper, scissors. This is what makes me love Overwatch 2 so much. And if I think
And they messed it up literally like one patch later. And then it was just Zarya meta for like a year, or for the first season, then the second season, and it just kept doing that.
I don't actually think any players
Not just Zarya, just switching tanks.
gonna feel like they need to have every hero in Overwatch 2. It's gonna be too overwhelming, to be honest, because statistically, you do not play every hero anyway.
See, but I do, and I'm just trying to have fun. Like, I get it from a competitive point of view. Like, yeah, you're not going to play every single character competitively. But also, I just want to have fun and, like, play a character sometimes. It's kind of weird. Like, oh, I want to learn Sombra for today, and I just play Sombra all day or whatever.
Is it actually going to impact the play experience if someone has 34 out of 35 heroes?
No, but it will start affecting it, like, 2 years down the line or whatever, when we've gotten, like, 6 or 7, maybe 8 new... Wait, no. We'll have had... I don't know, I've like, let's just say 12 new characters, because fuck it, that's more fun. When you're missing a fourth of the roster, then it starts to become a problem. And that, I feel like that's what most people are saying is, sure, it's not a problem for the first like 3 years or whatever, but let's say you can get your friend to hop in 3 years down the line, and he's missing half the characters essentially. It's like, okay, well, that's not good. Like, this guy literally can only, like, if they, let's say, for some reason only has Reinhardt and, like, Roadhog for tanks, he's fucked. Like, he is fucked if they just pick Orisa. Like, that's just how it is.
Which, remember, that's the case.
And I feel like that's a bad argument because, like, you're literally only talking in the short term. The long term is what people are worried about here.
This aren't in the Battle Pass. It's just the new ones that are coming out. And when you buy the Battle Pass, you're funding that constant stream of development. So I'm on board. You get my $10, Blizzard.
See, I would say that's fair to, like, fund your development if they were actually developing, like, groundbreaking new things. But, like, right now, you know what we've gotten so far? We've gotten, like, 3 events. All the modes they've added have been fine. Nothing. Actually, to be honest, I hate like 90% of the modes. They're so useless. It's like fun for like 2 hours, and it's like, okay, I understand you guys put a lot of work into this, but like, can we get something else that's not just like silly game mode? And then when it's not that, it's either cosmetics or it's like once every 3 or 4 months or whatever. Like, if I'm gonna be paying you $20 in those 4 months, you better be giving me some like really cool content. And like I've said before, there's literally no way that you can make this game function without counter picks. There just isn't. So that's the first video. I'm gonna try and cut this one a little shorter and more concise, because a lot of people are saying that I was rambling a lot, which I'll be honest, I do that. I do.
What's going on?
All right, hopefully I have the space to record all this. I'm gonna be watching another Your Overwatch video, so here's the second one. I'm a little sick, so you're just gonna have to deal with that.
Guys, it's Frito.
You know, I was just thinking about it. I'll be reviewing his review of their reviews. That's kind of meta. Someone should review my video, so then we've got the reviewing of my video of that, whatever. Second thing, I also hate games journalists, so I'm not gonna defend them. They're pretty damn bad at their jobs as well. Just really quick as well, I do like Overwatch 2. I think it's a fine game. I think it's pretty much just a worse version of Overwatch 1, but it is fine. It's not a bad game. Well, sometimes it's pretty bad, but a lot of the time it's usually just kind of fine. And so when I hate on this game a lot, it's coming from a place of, I think it's love. I don't really know. It's some sort of feeling that I feel towards it. I tell you what.
a messy sequel that tries to erase one of the best shooters in the last decade.
I do kind of agree with that.
They're trying to erase it from the face of the earth.
I don't know about erase, but they are getting rid of a lot of it.
Confused because was anyone calling Overwatch 1 and hailing it as one of the best games out right now? Or
no, they weren't calling it one of the best games out right now, but they were calling it one of the best game, like shooter games of all time. I mean, hell, it won Game of the Year in 2016, like, and that's impressive. Pretty much no shooters ever win Game of the Year, ever. And Overwatch 2 or Overwatch 1 won Game of the Year. The game at its core is so fucking good that I think, and that's something that I've said a lot. I think this game at its core is so good that it genuinely makes this game near unkillable. Like, it is to that degree where the base game is so fucking good, even if you completely destroy like parts of it, you destroy cosmetics, you destroy every single other thing, the base core gameplay is still so fun that people will still play it.
Or is that just a memory of 2016, 2017, when the game was entirely different? Keep that question in your mind. It'll be important when we compare to other reviews.
If they're referring to just the like 27 or 2018, 2019, 2020 Overwatch one, then yeah, it would also say, yeah, that wouldn't have won Game of the Year, but it would have if it came out. Like, I don't think there was any major problems with Overwatch 1 ever, other than maybe some balance stuff compared to Overwatch 2, where they've got major problems outside of just balance.
Feels like a natural hero shooter, whereas Overwatch 1, the real reason why a team fight was lost might be like a ripple effect 3 abilities in. And it's not even the interaction between you and the character you're fighting with, but more important, an ability that was used somewhere.
Yeah, but that wasn't how it worked. This is the thing, is I think a lot of these people say that, but then that's not how it worked at the low ranks, bro. Like, that's how it worked at the very high ranks, but at the low ranks, sometimes sure it was that, but sometimes it literally was you were just fighting somebody and you missed all your shots, or you were fighting somebody and they used a better ability than you were, or hit you with a ability better than like you, whatever. That happened a lot in the low ranks. That's like a high rank perspective.
And of course, that's going to be probably the major schism between those that really don't like the direction of Overwatch 2 and thought Overwatch 1 was some masterpiece. But is that really what we had?
Yes, Overwatch 1 at its core, base Overwatch 1 is genuinely a shooter masterpiece. I'm not gonna lie, I want to make a video about this, but Overwatch at its core is literally the best shooter, in my opinion. I think it is so unique, so different, it's so fun. The only thing you can argue is maybe it's not as competitive as other games, which that's fair. If you really are a competitive player, then yeah, I can see it's maybe not the best shooter for you. But for me, it absolutely is, because it was so fun and just a like fun time no matter what you did, essentially. There was a character for everyone, essentially. And him saying it's not a masterpiece, like, you're talking about the last 3 years of Overwatch 1, which was literally they just stopped making content. Like, they just completely ceased making content.
Download a free game October 4th. New players are going to be like, wow, this game's awesome. That's
you know
the
what?
Impression
This actually has got me thinking. Let's go look at the Steam charts. I know they're not super accurate, but I would not be surprised if you can tell that Overwatch has fallen off of a cliff in popularity. Damn, okay, well, that's not helping. Let's just look up Overwatch. Yeah, so it's... Oh, wait, that's its review. 17,000. So when this first came out, it was about 40,000. And I know this isn't every player, but this is a decent chunk. And let's just compare that. So 20,000 or 17,000. Let's just say 18,000. 18,000 is below. Oh yeah, there it is. Right. It's what place was it? 52. It's not even top. No, 54. It's not even top 50. I would say the game could be dying. Like, genuinely, I don't want to say it is dying, because I think that's like hate clicks or like bait clicks or whatever you would call them, but I genuinely do think that the monetization had a lot of an effect to play on that, because there was just no reason to play this game until like very recently, and even still, the shit you get from the hero mastery stuff is still absolutely trash. Like, it's like, oh, I get a cool ass. Okay, cool ass is exaggerating. I get a banner. Cool.
I think this is going to be a major discussion point for this channel and hopefully a lot of channels. Overwatch 2 is not a game about counterpicking. Not in the hard counter sense.
Aged badly.
You can improve your matchup by swapping, but you can't counterpick, really. I've played enough Overwatch.
Man, that's rough.
2 automatically makes you weaker on the other. No hero does it all. The map design in 5v5 is just designed just too well. And for the sake of
Whoa, okay. The map design is literally just Overwatch 1 map design for like 90% of the maps. I would say maybe on the new maps.
never again is Overwatch 2 going to have hard counters to things, where a few basic abilities means the enemy has to swap.
That is so, man, that sentence aged horribly. Oh, that aged terribly. Everyone knows that. I don't even need to say anything about that.
No. Blizzard has a history of launching heroes with absurdly strong abilities that can often make old heroes irrelevant. Echo dropped in 2020.
So I don't want to defend the game journalist because that's some loser mentality, but I will say that it is possible that what he's saying is like what I'm saying, which is Overwatch 1 when it first came out, phenomenal. After that, kind of bad.
Now, almost every hero, including its 3 new ones, have been imbued with high skill mechanics that feel tailored to esports.
I don't mind this, honestly. Like, I will say Overwatch needs to keep some casual players. I know this is going to be a hot take. Everyone like hates Mercy and all that. But this game was literally built on people being able to play this as their first FPS. This was my first FPS. When I hopped in, I literally could not aim for shit. I literally just played Reinhardt and like Mercy because they were easy.
Pros.
And they should have characters for both. They should have characters that have really high skill ceiling stuff, as well as characters that have really easy low ceiling stuff. I think you need a mix of both.
The game's for hero shooter fans that loved Overwatch 1 at launch, which didn't have Brig, for example, or a lot of the extra easy mechanics that they added later, like double shield and everything.
But oh my god, my brain is melting. How do you not? I'm gonna say it right now. I'm sorry, you're Overwatch if you ever listen to this, but how do you not understand that at this core there has always been characters like Brig that were just ridiculous? Fucking Mercy had a 6-man res that she could just stay alive and res at the end. That is 100% casual based. There's literally no chance. This game was made. I think what happened, and this is okay. I'm gonna go into a little tangent here, but I think why everyone loved Overwatch 2 so much when it first got initially revealed, like to the pros specifically. Not only are they super excited. Not only is it their content, they think they're finally getting out of the content drought, they also think that this is balanced for us, like the good players, which it was, because no one else had access to the game. Now that the game is, I've said this before, they really need to pick a side between either being a competitive game or a casual game, because right now they're trying to do both, and it makes it so the casual fans hate it, and they blame the competitive fans, and the competitive fans hate it, and they blame the casual fans. Pick one side and just stick to it. If you want to be a really fun casual shooter, do that. And then if there's a competitive scene with it, that's fine. That's part of the fun. If you want to be a super competitive game where everyone's trying to like become the best, like Valorant type shit, do that, because then no one will complain that there isn't any like cruisy, super fun casual abilities. They need to lean into one side though.
And I think it's just patently false that average level skill players dislike shooter mechanics. All you need to do is look at the pick rates for a character like Ana across the global tiers of all matchmaking.
I think that's less because the shooter stuff, it's because she's simple. Like, she can aim, you shoot your teammates to heal, you shoot enemies to damage, you throw a grenade, and you have a sleep dart to put them to sleep, and then a nano. Ana, which I explained, she does have a higher skill mechanic, but it's not like, here, I'll do the last 12 months. But it's not like she's super hard to play or anything. She's pretty simple. Mercy, who is very simple at its core, or very simple. I like Mercy. I play a lot of Mercy. Well, a lot is maybe exaggerating, but I play Mercy because I think she's fun sometimes. If I just want to turn off my brain, fly around, have fun. Kiriko, who, well, yes, has one hard thing to do. The rest is literally like the brain melt easiest thing to do ever. Genji, who is just really cool designed and is really cool. Cassidy, who is probably the simplest character in this game. Moira, who is probably the easiest, like simplest character, one of the simplest characters in this game. Soldier 76, who is literally just a generic shooter guy. Reinhardt, who is pretty much just like an average, like a normal, what you would think a tank is. And then the rest of these are like Hanzo, Widowmaker, and that type shit. Also, I just noticed out of the entire 5, 6, 7, out of the top 8, there's one tank. Out of the top 10, there's one tank. Out of the top like 15, there's one tank, and it's Reinhardt. That is horrible. What the fuck? And wait, let's see. What about? No, we won't spend too much time.
Game 4, players that want to have fun. That's what I would say to that question.
No, it's not. This game is for the most money. Is what it's for. It's to try and get the most people to play it as possible right now, and that's why that's why Blizzard, I don't think, will ever lean into either a competitive game or a casual game.
I'll summarize. The article goes on to talk about how there's less CC, more individual plays, infused. How this.
It's crazy how much of this has just been changed back to Overwatch 1 stuff.
Is negative. In order to make the most out of my limited time playing, I picked Reinhardt even when he wouldn't be particularly effective because I wanted to get my mitigation challenge done. And I wouldn't blame others for
And that is so fair. The challenges in this game are shit. I talked about it last
doing so, as opposed to enjoying the gameplay itself. I think this is a player perception issue, and specifically this player. As for me, I see the challenges as extra things I would do when I'm bored and play the game a lot.
Yeah, because you play so much that you're gonna finish that battle pass no matter what. To normal people, like, who don't play the game all the time, like even I spend like 90% of my time at my house playing video games, but I still cannot, like, unless I fully commit to only playing Overwatch, I cannot finish my challenges within a day. Like, you need like 3 or 4 days to finish these Overwatch challenges, and some people can't do that, and that's really fair because that's a big pain in the ass. Like, I just want to, and especially if you're buying a battle pass, like, I better be getting fucking everything from it if I'm spending $10. I'm not about to spend $10 and get like 20 rewards.
A PC Gamer article has some banger lines. Doomer takes to the max. For everyone who still actively plays Overwatch, the sequel has enough new toys to play with and unlock, but the beating heart of the game I devoted thousands of hours of my life to is a series of misguided balance changes and monetization systems away from flatlining.
Wait, this guy actually cooked at the end. What the fuck?
It's in a fragile state that might not solidify into a shooter worth regularly playing for a year or two if it ever does.
Wait, he's so... Oh my god, he's like a prophet. He was so right.
It's hard to see that game underneath all the scaffolding it took to adapt it into a free-to-play shooter that mimics its successful contemporaries and ties it all into a shameless monetization scheme. It might still become the game many of its fans like me dreamed it could be. It could be a game that appeals to people who love the cerebral joy of a frantic firefight, but one that maintains a metagame of counterpicking and positional play for those who like to play chess with its unique heroes. I mean, this is the whole point I'm making with a bow on top, isn't it? He wants to counterpick and win by counterpicking.
And guess what? That's still here. He's probably pretty happy.
Playing. That game sucked, bro. It was not good.
Yeah, but that didn't happen everywhere. Oh my god. I'm gonna lose it. Let's see the dislikes. Yeah, pretty negatively again. It's because of takes like this, where it's just like, you are being so dismissive to like anyone that isn't in your same exact mindset. Like, not everyone did hate the counterpicking game. I don't like it. But like, some people did love it. That is one of the reasons they played Overwatch.
And I think
and it's crazy because he's gonna laugh at him here, but everyone knows what this guy just said is actually, like, he is spitting facts right now. Like, you just heard that, and you know that he was not capping. He was right. He was genuinely right. The game still is. I would say it's in a slightly worse state than when it launched. If they make like any more big balance changes that are really bad, or cosmetic balance changes that are like pretty bad, I do think this game could die. Like, I think we are at that level.
Ultimately, it can't be too hard on this guy. He liked a version of the game that I don't. PC Gamer, not into Overwatch 2 or the directions it's taking, finds the charm to be gone and the identity for the players that...
And that is one thing. Overwatch 2 lost a lot of the identity of Overwatch, in my opinion. Like, we lost the, like, hero shooter for casuals that is just fun. And it's a lot more like, oh, okay, this is a you play corners, you play really like smart, you have to use your brain all the time. It's like not everyone wanted that, and that's part of the like one of the reasons why Overwatch was so fun to a lot of people, is because it wasn't like that. A lot of other shooters, like if I wanted to go play an intense shooter, I'm gonna go play Valorant or CSGO. I'm gonna play something that is genuinely well balanced, that is a hard like shooter like that. If I'm just trying to have fun, Overwatch was always that game. Nowadays it's not that though. Alright, so to be honest, you can probably see at the end of this it ended up being 40 minutes still. So I'm sorry about that. Hopefully it's a little bit better edited. I am gonna double check really quick and make sure it sounds good and everything. Sorry again for the 40-minute long. Hopefully I cut out a lot of my rants, but that's about it. Later.